Okay, so we're recording. So, what a great day this has been. I'm just so happy that you're here with me tonight. Christy's here. We have a few more joining us, and we're recording it. So, there's going to be lots of other people that get to participate a little bit later. But it truly does say something about you, Christy, especially because you're here on time, but about everyone that's listening, right? That you're taking this time to be here for yourself. I'm really proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But before we dive into the meat of this topic, we're going to step back a little bit. And you, Christy, you've been here with me before. You've done these classes. And for anyone else that's participated in these or, participated in my health coaching programs, whatever, you've definitely heard this next part before. But I want to repeat it for anybody that's new and also as a reminder for all of us, right, about how change really happens. You know what's coming, right? So I'm going to let you in on a little secret that I would truly, honestly be surprised if much of the information that I'm sharing today, if any of it's new to you. Maybe you'll learn a new food or, new essential oil or something like that that will help with increasing energy. But honestly, the purpose of these classes isn't to reveal some amazing, like cutting edge magic pill that's going to solve all your problems. I'm sorry if you're disappointed.
Dang it.
Darn it. It's not a bad thing to be looking for new things and new help, right? Motivations for our goals. But I'm going to set the expectation right now that I'm just not going to solve all your issues. As I tell my health coaching clients, I'm the cheerleader, right? That's my best job. Yeah. I can be a kick in the pants if you need it. I'm happy to provide that service. But for the most part, I'm simply a facilitator. I'm just an accountability partner. I'm just going to share some resources. But most importantly, the biggest thing that we're going to do here is I'm going to be asking some questions. And some of them I expect to be hard to answer. And some of them you may not even know the answers yet. But that's okay. Because the important part is listening to the questions, right? And as long as you're willing to be open to thinking about the answers, that's enough. So you with me on it?
Yes.
Okay, good. You're a good sport. You always are. So just make sure you have a paper and a pencil handy, something to write on. You're going to want to write down the questions.
All right.
And
I got to go get something.
Okay, that's fine. So you're going to want to write down those questions and the answers, right, to reflect on later. So if you participated in my classes before, you've definitely heard me talk about the rules. I love to lay down the rules right at the beginning. And so I'm going to repeat them again for newbies and as a reminder. So rule number 1 is to show up for yourself. You're not showing up for your family. You're not showing up for your friends, for your, spouse or kids or father, mother, whatever. You're here for you. And I want you to keep that in mind as we go through this. As we all know, when we're true to ourselves, when we are able to fulfill our own needs, it makes us better able to fulfill other people's needs. And I want you to keep that in mind as we go through this. Okay, so that's rule number 1, show up for yourself. Rule number 2 is progress, not perfection. No one is perfect. If someone tells you they're perfect, they are deluding themselves and you. So just shoot for that progress, right? Be willing to see even the small, the little tiny changes that you make, see them as big things and celebrate them. That should be rule number 5, is celebrate. Rule number 3 is observation instead of judgment. We don't beat ourselves up. We don't, call ourselves out and make a big deal about mistakes. Just observe, right? Observe when we don't necessarily fulfill the commitments that we were trying to make. Observe when things aren't going as well as they should be and learn from it. Judgment does not lead to learning. Observation leads to learning. And that's really what we're shooting for. Okay, and then rule number 4, the last one, is be willing to challenge yourself. I'm pausing for a second on that and let you think about it. Right? We do a lot of hard things in our lives. And sometimes we're happy about doing those hard things, sometimes we're not. But I want to invite you at this point just to open your heart, be willing to do some new things, do things differently than the way you've done them before. I can promise you, from my own experience and from the experiences of every person that I've ever had as a client, that those who have embraced these rules and incorporated them into this work that they're doing, they've accomplished things that they thought never would happen. Some of it's been weight loss, some of it's been relationship improvements, right? All of those things. But when they show up for themselves, they focus on the progress, they observe what's going on without judgment, and they're willing to do some hard things, there's always positive improvement that comes out of that. So, sound okay?
Yes.
All righty. Okay, we're going to dive in here. So, I'm going to share my screen. Like so. Can you see that all right?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to hide the video. All right. So tonight we are learning how to increase your energy naturally. Are you excited?
Yay!
Are you energetic? You sound really energetic.
Well, that was a bit fabricated, so.
That's okay. It's kind of late and we're all here for a reason, right? We're tired. We don't feel like these people at all. I don't know that I felt like this since I was probably in my teens.
Agreed.
That kind of energy, right? But that's another thing that we're going to talk about here, right? Is that energy is different for each of us at different points in our lives. My goal tonight is to help you understand how to naturally, effectively, and enjoyably maximize your energy. This is going to be more than just the nuts and bolts, though, right? You can get the nuts and bolts from a quick Google search, right? The value that I add to this topic is the context. We're each unique. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to health. And all you'll get from the Google search or reading a blog or Pinterest, right, is somebody else's experience, which can be a good starting point. But this class is going to be about your experience. So we are going to start right in by going deep. And the first big question of the class. So I want you to write this down. You're welcome to share it with us if you'd like, or you can just write it down for your own reference, right? But on a scale from 1 to 10, okay, 10 is the optimal for you, how would you rate your current energy level? Remember, it's your scale, right? It's definitely going to be different from how your energy was 15 years ago or how it's going to be 20 years from now, right? But right now in your life, how is your energy? Scale of 1 to 10. Do you want to share?
I put 4.
4. Okay. Why did you put a 4?
Because I don't think I'm half as strong as I should be.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. I just think that I've got a long way to go.
Okay.
But I remember when I used to be a lot worse.
Oh.
So I could have put it at I could have put it at a 0.
Back then.
Yes, back then.
That's great. That's great that you've seen some improvements. So where do you think those improvements came from? What has happened in your life that's given you some more energy?
Time. Also trying to be a bit more proactive overall in my health. And get information that I actually really needed to get from a doctor, and so that I could actually do something about it, and that has helped.
Okay. You said something really important there. Do something about it. Has that changed for you as well? That you're actually doing something with that information now?
Yes. I am actually trying to make sure that I take what I need to take so I can start building up, get to a place where I can do more
Okay.
of what other people might consider just the normal stuff to get healthier and more energized. But I have to build up, and I am building back up to some place where I can start to do those kind of things.
That's fabulous. And that's what it is, right? It's a step at a time.
Yes.
We're not going to be rock climbing like this tomorrow necessarily, but right? Yeah. So what would you say is affecting your energy the very most? The negative, right? Why aren't you at a 10? And you don't have to be super detailed with me necessarily. Just, think about that as the question. What is, if there's, if you could name one, maybe two areas of your life that are affecting your energy the most negatively, what would they be?
Do you want me to share?
Sure, if you'd like to.
Okay. I would say it's still overall self-care and prioritizing, or should I say managing my time and my self-care, if that makes sense.
That does. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So now the last question for this little segment is, what would you do with more energy?
Oh, wow. That's a lot. I would get my stuff going. I would kick myself in the pants and get the stuff done that I keep seeing in my head that I can and want to do.
I love that. So fulfilling your dreams.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, those are some of the things that I think about too. I'm definitely kind of in a waning phase right now on my energy level. Mm-hmm. And when I think about, gosh, what would I do with more energy? Definitely I would be helping, I'd be helping people more. I'd be able to serve without thinking, oh, is this going to make me too tired? Or right. Those are big things. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So keep those thoughts in mind, right, as we go through this, especially that what would you do with more energy? All right. Okay. So we're going to jump right in. These are the key ingredients to having more energy, these next few slides, right? The most obvious way, right? Energy in. What is energy? It's food, nutrition. That's where we get our energy, right? In terms of the foods which provide the most energy boosting nutrients, foods with a low glycemic level are ultimately the best options.
Oh, your audio is kind of getting
cutting
weak.
Out.
It's getting weak anyway.
Okay. So did you catch that? The foods with a low glycemic level, those are the best options. Okay. So those are foods like beans, right? Whole grains, nuts, obviously vegetables, right? Things that have less impact on your blood sugar. Those are the best types of nutrition. We talk about high glycemic foods. Those would be like white rice, pastas, potatoes, obviously sugar, right? Sugary juices, drinks, those kinds of things. We've been taught that, you associate starchy foods, grains, whatever, with energy. But the long-term effects of consuming this kind of food actually has negative impacts on our energy level. The main issue is with these foods is that the carbohydrates they provide, they're refined. And so they can play havoc with your blood sugar levels. So they'll boost your energy for the short term, but they're definitely not a good long-term solution for nutrition. Right? So the next piece of energy, of natural energy, is your metabolism. So metabolism is the process, right? Several processes actually within your body that convert the nutrients in the food to energy that your cells can use. So it follows that the foods that are good for your metabolism will provide you with a higher level of energy. So if you're aiming to increase your metabolism, it's a great way to shift the focuses from consuming high energy foods. So you can sorry, let me go back. So increasing your metabolism is a great way to shift the focus from consuming high energy foods, because those high energy foods, that can be misleading, right? We think, oh, we're going to get the food, those foods are going to give us the high energy, the white grains and the processed foods. So, but those don't feed our metabolism. So the actually optimum metabolism requires a whole bunch of vitamins and minerals. So it actually requires a lot of the micronutrients to provide our cells with the proper fuel required to release the energy. And when the food and the nutrients aren't enough, the cells are low in their energy releasing activities, and that results in tiredness and fatigue. So when we eat nutrient dense foods like superfoods, have you heard of superfoods before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a one of those fad words that almost sounds like, right, a superfood. But there really is something to them, because they have more nutritional value than some of the traditional foods that we're used to in our diets. Some superfoods, right? Berries, nuts, just you think of anything that is just a really compact source of those nutrients. That's what you're aiming for when you're trying to boost your metabolism. Okay, so this is kind of a controversial one, supplements, right? You'll hear from doctors, dietitians, nutritionists, everybody. Some people are, everybody needs supplements. Some people say, oh, no, you just need to eat the right foods. Well, I think the problem comes in is because a lot of people, they don't realize that the word is supplements. It's not substitutes, right?
Right.
There is no pill in the world that can substitute for good food choices, right? You could be eating the crappiest food in the world and taking the highest quality supplements, and you are not going to have good health. The food is the key. The supplements are just add-ons. They're just a boost to support what you're doing with your food choices. And I've said it before, right? Not all supplements are created equally. Even supplements that are labeled natural, in that group, over 90% of those vitamin supplements are actually synthetic. And there's new evidence showing that these unnatural forms of vitamins can actually be doing more harm than good. According to there's an Organic Consumers Association, man-made vitamins cannot be used by the body in the same way as their natural versions that we get from food. So for me personally, I've shown pictures here of the supplements that I take personally. These are the supplements provided by doTERRA, and they're unmatched. For me, they're truly therapeutic grade and therapeutic level supplements. They're not just a fairy dusting of ingredients so that they can make it on they can have a line on their ingredient list. They're actually full-fledged, whole food-based ingredients, which I love. They're developed by dietitians, doctors, nutrition professionals, trained to have the appropriate levels of each micronutrients. You're not getting an overabundance of one and not enough of another one. They're very, very well balanced. And I personally have seen a lot of improvement in my own energy level. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of full confession here. I've been on vacation, right? And kind of out of my normal schedule, and I have been forgetting to take my supplements. I know, and I am feeling it. I've been taking these things for probably 3, 4, 5 years now. I can't remember when I started taking them at this point, but I can tell within a few days when I stop taking them, I can tell a significant difference in my energy level. And I eat good food. Even when I'm on vacation, I really make it a point to get, vegetables and fresh things in my diet. But these supplements, they're my lifeline to energy. So this is this whole class, honestly, Christy, is a reminder to me. You guys are just along for the ride, but this is for me to remind myself of the things that I need to be doing. So, and supplements are huge for me. The next thing is fitness, right? Movement, doing something that gets your body moving. It's kind of interesting. It almost seems counterintuitive, right? That if you exercise, you'll have more energy. But there's actually science behind it, that those endorphins that you get from an intense energy or an intense workout, they give you this shot of energy that lasts for a long time, and it increases your overall energy. So what kind of movement or exercise do you like to do, Christy?
Sorry, say that again.
What kind of exercise or movement do you like best?
Well, I haven't done much of anything lately, but
Okay.
I like walking and hiking.
Yeah.
I'd say those are my first favorites because they're the ones that are the most likely body friendly for me. There's other things. I mean, I'll be honest. When I was younger, I still like to do the more karate type stuff. I like to be more active, but I'm trying to be realistic right now and realize that I need to start back with the basic likes, which is the walking and the hiking.
Yeah.
Like
okay,
that.
so I'm so glad you said that, because this is actually kind of interesting, that there are certain activities that actually encourage calm energy, right? And they're more effective at creating that sustained energy release throughout the day, right? So like running a marathon and kickboxing and, what are some of the others? Aerobic, fast, what's that other one? Zumba, right? Like dancing kind of things. Those ones are not calm energy.
No.
Right? They're super fun for some people. They really like them, and they do create a burst of energy. But exercises like walking, right? Tai Chi, yoga, those calmer exercises that use a lot of different muscles in the body, those are actually even better for creating that sustained energy release throughout the day, so you don't slip into fatigue, right, or burn out quickly on the energy. So keep that in mind, right? All right, so the next slide. Your mental health has a direct effect on your energy levels. Am I right? You experienced this?
Yes.
Yes, we all have, right? When we consider the mental energy that is expended during those intense periods of anxiety or depression, or even just a day of being worried, it becomes really evident that how our energy is affected, right? So it's important to really be aware of our mental health as we aim to increase our overall energy. And I totally understand, and I myself struggle with clinical anxiety, right? I get that, and I have family members and friends who have severe depression, and I know what it feels like to get into that dark place and know that, yes, I know I shouldn't be here, right? I need to be doing better, but there's no such thing as being able to talk yourself out of being depressed when it's a clinical kind of thing, right? And so getting real help, getting a doctor, a therapist, being on medication, doing what you need to do for your mental health is priority. Keeping in mind that the other things we've talked about, the food, the supplements, the exercise, all of those contribute hugely to your mental health. Hold on. Okay. Oh, here's one cool thing. So my sister-in-law, I hope it's okay that she's not on. She was going to be on this class, but she's not on right now. So I hope it's okay that I share this. But she was telling me how she's been using meditation to help with her mental health. And that's something that, you know, I've been looking into as well, that just being able to use that meditation to direct our energy helps. You know, it seems kind of a simple thing, but just being able to recognize where and how our thoughts, right, where they go and how our thoughts affect that our physical energy, it's super important, and it helps us cultivate more positive relationships and connections around us. Just that being aware of where our thoughts are going, and that's what meditation helps with. Also, increasing magnesium and vitamin D intake can help boost mood and energy levels. So consuming foods like bananas, cashews, almonds, dark chocolate. Hey, you know what? That sounds like a dessert. Just put them all together, right? And then you're really happy, right? All of those things have magnesium in them. Leafy greens and seeds, right? All of those are really great food sources for helping our mental health and our energy. So those might be some good ones to write down. All right. Take a little break here, and we're going to ask some tough questions. You ready for some tough questions?
All right.
Okay. You don't have to answer these out loud, but these are definitely ones that I want you to write down and think about. Okay. I'll give you just a few seconds between the questions to write them down. If you have the answers, write it out. If you don't have the answers, that's okay. Come back to it. All right. So we've talked about nutrition, exercise, mental health, supplementation, right? These are things, like I said, none of this is new. You're probably like rolling your eyes. Libby, I know this, right? None of this is new, but here's the question. Are you doing these things? Are you doing them? And if not, what is preventing you from doing the things that you know will help you? So one thing that I used to always tell myself is that, oh, you know, I just need more willpower. I just need to be stronger. I just need to be able to resist that extra serving of sugar or whatever, right? I've come to realize pretty recently, actually, a truth. Willpower is a myth. And really, the idea that we can accomplish things solely based on our own willpower, that's the myth. I'm reading a book that is helping me understand this a little bit better. And it's called Willpower is a Myth, actually, ironically enough, and or not ironic. And the author talks about how willpower is like a muscle, right? And our muscles can only do a certain amount of work before they get fatigued. It's just a physical limitation that it is what it is. And you can push and push and push, but when your muscles are tired, they're going to stop working. They need a break. And willpower is similar, right? We can, just through sheer grit, we can accomplish a lot. But eventually we're going to get burnt out. We're going to get tired. And what happens if we get to that point but we haven't accomplished what we were trying to accomplish, right? Whether it's with our energy or our diet or our jobs or our families, right? Pushing through can only take us so far. But he has a solution for this myth, right? That we can only use willpower so far. He says the key to success is changing your environment. It's not changing yourself. It's not pushing harder and, you know, beating yourself up and making yourself do it. It's identifying the things in your environment And those could be internal environment as well as external environments, okay, that help foster the goals and the things that you want to accomplish, right? So we're looking at energy here, right? What are the things in your environment that are preventing you from having more the energy level that you want to have? Keeping in mind that there are some things that are outside of our control, right? Accidents, severe illnesses, right? Other people's actions, those are outside of our control. But looking at the things within your circle of control, what are some of those things that could be changed?
Do you actually want me to answer?
You don't have to. This is kind of a personal one, so I don't want you to be put on the spot or anything. But just thinking about it, right? And we've talked about this before in other classes, that of all the things that are within that circle of control, our choices are number one. And an example that this author gave in the book, which totally makes sense to me, that, you know, let's say we're going on a diet, right? I'm gonna eat really good foods now, but my pantry is still filled with sugar, treats, chocolate chips, and right, my freezer still has ice cream and Pop Tarts and, you know, whatever in it. But I go out to the store and I buy all, you know, I buy up all the fresh produce, and I'm starting and I have my plan, and I get to day 2 and I'm like, oh, this is hard, right? My willpower is pushed to its maximum. So I'm just going to have some sugar, right? So the things in my environment are making it easier for me to give in to the sugar. Whereas if when I start this diet, start this new meal plan, if I just get rid of that sugar, I throw it away, I give it away, whatever, it's not in the house. I get to the end of my willpower of being able to just eat the vegetables. I get to the end of that and there's no sugar in the house. I don't really have any options. I'll just keep eating that celery. Does that make sense? It's kind of an extreme, you know, example, but that's what we're talking about, is this, you know, changing the things in your environment to make your choices easier. So that's what we're going to talk about next. This last, what time is it? Yep, last 20 minutes here. We are going to talk about some of the choices that we can make, some of the things that we can set ourselves up for success. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, meditation. We just talked about that, right? This is a great way to boost mental energy levels. So setting aside a time, consciously saying, okay, at 9:30 every night, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do a 5-minute meditation, right? Make it easy on ourselves. But doing that, right, it boosts our mental energy. You can do it in the morning even, right? It translates, that mental energy translates into physical energy. Meditation also reduces our stress levels and helps our mind think more clearly to be able to find solutions. I'm telling you now, meditation is one that I'm very serious about it for my personal progress that I'm doing. Meditation is right at the top of my list, even more than the foods and the exercise at this point. Okay, the second one is avoiding stimulants. Kind of like I was talking about, right? We're going to go on this. We want more energy, but we have our cans of caffeinated soda sitting in the fridge cooling, or we have, right, whatever our favorite stimulant is. We need to get rid of those. And making the choice, right? How important is it? How important is your energy to you? How important are those things that you want to do, the service you want to give, the dreams you want to accomplish? Are they more important than the stimulants? That's a good thing to ask ourselves. So, but even as we're moving forward with this, right, we're not going to have like instant energy just because we stop eating sugar, even though I don't know if that's one I'm going to have to work on for a while, is the whole sugar thing, right? But giving up some of these other stimulants, we're not going to instantly have more energy. So there's a way to have some natural stimulation. The big one that I use in my home is essential oils. I harp on this a lot. You're used to that by now, right? Yeah. So right here in the middle is one of my favorites. It's called Mito 2 Max. And it's actually not an essential oil. It's an herbal supplement that doTERRA makes that gives you natural energy. There's no caffeine in it. It doesn't give you that shaky, right, stimulant feeling. It actually works at the cellular level and feeds your mitochondria. It feeds those tiny little pieces, those tiny little, right, energy factories of your body. And it starts at that level. So it's not a quick fix, but I definitely over time have noticed that I don't take this every day, but I know when I'm going to be super stressed, I have a lot going on, I'll start taking this a couple of days before whatever big event is coming up, and it really does help my energy level. I notice a significant difference. For quick energy, I like peppermint. I like any of the citrus oils, and simply even just smelling those really helps me. Have you ever used peppermint for like energy boost or anything like that, Christy?
I haven't, but I've always noticed that I do just, I don't know, I always feel better, feel lighter when I use it.
Yeah. Yeah, you just kind of perk up, right? So I've been, like I said, on vacation on these road trips, and I get really tired when I'm driving, and just having a little bottle of peppermint right there, I keep the peppermint right in my little center console, and I'll just open it up and smell it. And it just gives me this boost. It just wakes me up and I'm good to keep driving. Very, very good. My husband actually uses basil oil. So that one might seem a little strange, but basil is really supportive of the adrenal glands. And the adrenals are, again, another powerhouse of energy, right? If your adrenals are fatigued, then your whole body could just be totally out of whack. Crazy, those tiny little adrenal glands could have such an effect. But my husband uses basil. He applies it topically on his back, just right above his adrenal glands, and it has really helped his energy level. And especially he gets seasonal allergies, right? And that basil is really supportive for that too. So, and we talked about ginger, right? It's a great one. Any of the citrus oils are fabulous for helping. You can do them topically. You can diffuse them in your home or your car, or you can take them internally as well. All of these can be taken internally, and again, just gives your body that boost. Okay, this is a silly one. Not silly, but almost like so simple it's silly, right? Drink more water. It's simple. It's so simple that it's easy to forget. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something. It's something I say to my kids all day long. They'll be complaining, "Oh, mom, I'm tired. Oh, mom, my tummy hurts. Oh, mom," and I'll be like, "Did you drink any water today?" And 99% of the time, they kind of roll their eyes at me and go get their water bottle. And wow, it's amazing. It's like a miracle. They drink their water and they feel better. It's crazy. It's hard to be right. But drink more water, right? Dehydration, it's a massive issue. It causes low levels of energy, just fatigue. I mean, those are the minor things that dehydration can cause. With less water in your system, your blood volume decreases, so your heart has to work harder, your blood vessels constrict, right? That's why we get headaches when we're not drinking enough, is because those constricting blood vessels. Anyway, all of this, right? Just extra energy loss that can be totally easily avoided just by drinking more water. So when we're going back to that model of less willpower and more just setting up the environment, what's something you could do to drink more water? Something you could set up in your environment.
Well, I pretty much drink water exclusively.
Good.
Right now though, I'm guilty of still not drinking enough, but that's because I don't know. I think it's partially the heat, so you stay inside a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just realized I haven't been drinking enough water and just sheer amount of it. So I try to keep a water bottle right by me.
Perfect.
And I just need to make sure that I'm mindful that I continue to drink it. And actually, there have been times when I've drank so much that I thought I couldn't drink anymore.
You're building your eyeballs.
Yeah, that's when I have to start, maybe adding some oils to it or something.
Yeah.
Or, just something to mix it up a little bit.
Perfect.
Because there is such a thing, at least as far as well, it is. There's too much. There's a thing is drinking so much of the same thing that your body says like no more. It doesn't matter what it is. So
Yeah, that's a great idea though, to add some essential oils to it. I love citrus oils in water.
Mm-hmm.
It just really helps. And so here's one thing that one of my health coaching clients does, which I thought was so genius, right? So I bought this water bottle so I could keep track of how many ounces I'm drinking, right? I'm a checklist type of person. So I was like, okay. And so I'd fill up my water bottle and I'd drink it, and I'd fill it up and I'd drink it. And before too long, I'd lose track of how much water I had drunk, right? And I had this goal of drinking like 5 of them. It's like it's a 20 ounce bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, 5 of those, that would be a good amount of water to drink for my body size, but I would lose track. And so this health coaching client, she's just genius. She said, well, I do that. She said, but I put a rubber band. I put 5 rubber bands. I think she was drinking 4. She's smaller than I am. So she was drinking 4 of these jars of water, right? These bottles of water. So she's like, I put 4 rubber bands on it. And I just move the rubber bands like down to the bottom, right? As I drink one, I'll just move a band down to the bottom. And then I fill it up and I drink it again. I'll move the second one down. So she has right there on her water bottle a way to remind herself of how much water she's had.
That is a good idea.
Isn't that genius? Yeah, I told her she should like copyright that or market it or something, just keeping track of how much water you've drunk. It's fabulous.
I think that's an official life hack.
Yeah. She should make a video. She could probably make millions on that, huh? Okay, so drinking more water. Next one, do what you love. How many people in this world can truly say they're doing what they love? Very few, probably, right? And we know we're adulting, right? We sometimes have to do stuff that we don't really want to do, but we do it because it needs to be done. But overall, people who do what they love are happier and they have more energy. I know that the times in my life when I am looking forward to, whether it's work, whether it's, spending time with my family, and there's some things that I like to do with my family, and there's some things that I don't like to do with my family. and when I know that I'm going to be doing the things that I like to do with them, I'm excited to do it, and I have more energy to do it. So can you imagine what would happen if you could put into your life, put into your environment, the things that you really, truly love doing? What would that do for your energy level?
Oh, I think that it'd be a 180 for me. I think it would just absolutely turn every day into something that I would look forward to.
Yeah, right? Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And it's not an easy thing to do, right? We have to be like responsible adults and stuff now, which yeah, I'm not always keen on that either, but I'm learning as the older I get, the less I want to please people.
Right. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to help people and I want to be useful to them. But it's okay to say no to things. It's okay.
Maybe it's also okay to I mean, because I guess I do like to please people, but I want to do it on my terms.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
There is nothing wrong with that. That is a beautiful, wonderful thing. And I think that we are of more service to people when we're doing things in a way that is authentic.
Yeah, it's our signature selves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you're operating in a zone of genius. That's another great book. Highly recommend it. It's called The Big Leap. When you're operating in your zone of genius, everyone around you is happier, even if they didn't think they were going to be.
What's the name of the book?
It's called The Big Leap.
Okay.
It's a fabulous book. Yeah. Okay. Next this is a hard one. Set your alarm. Force ourselves to get up earlier in the morning.
Oh.
It's hard. And there is such a thing as a night owl and a morning person, right? I mean, that's a thing. But as far as like brain waves and right when you really do operate at your best. But the majority of people, we sleep too long or we go to bed too late and then we can't get up early. And then, right? Just setting an alarm, forcing ourselves to do it. I read this. Okay, it's all about books tonight, I guess. But I read this other book called The 5-Second Rule, and it's all about this lady who had all this stuff that she didn't want to do, and she finally just decided she was just going to count backwards from 5 and just do it. That was her method. And so, like, the alarm would go off in the morning, and she didn't want to get out of bed, but the alarm was going off, so she'd just count backwards from 5, and she'd just get out of bed. And it really worked for her. So that might be something, right? But setting your alarm, just how much more energy we have when we get things accomplished early in the morning. It makes the whole day go more smoothly. Right? You have more time to exercise, you're more likely to eat breakfast, you're more likely to have increased productivity, your stress levels go down. Super, super good stuff. Oh, you okay?
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up on me a little bit
there. It's hard to live out in the country with limited bandwidth.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost done here.
Okay.
So this is another big one, right? A big change comes over us when we reduce the amount of time that we spend plugged in to our devices. We become more present, we become more alert, and that can improve our fitness levels, right? And sometimes it feels like removing ourselves from technology is hard, but when you break it down, right, that time, the energy that we were expending on whatever we're doing online or just back and forth looking at our phones, it goes into so many better activities that we can do with that time, and therefore increase our productivity and increase our positivity, right? So like this cascade effect.
Well, what do you do when, like in my case, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, I'm going to be having to deal so much more with technology. Is there specific advice for people who are dependent on it for their
for your employment, right? For your writing. Yeah. Well, this is some advice that I've heard that I want to put in. I want to test it out, right? That basically giving yourself permission to have like those intense periods of screen time or whatever work time when you need to be on there, you need to be doing a certain thing, but you schedule it, and then just cutting yourself off. Okay, this is done, so I'm not going to be looking at this. It comes from so Bill Gates, right? He's Microsoft guy,
Right.
and he has a method he used. I think it's called Think Week, where he takes an entire week completely unplugged, right? And you think of Bill Gates, right? Like how connected he would have to be for his job and for everything that he does. But he takes a week where he doesn't check email, he doesn't, right? But it's scheduled. So I don't know if that's helping that suggestion, but I really like that idea of just scheduling your off time and saying, I'm not going to be on screens. I'm not going to be, right? I'm going to turn my phone off, whatever. Definitely reducing screen time at night. There've been lots and lots of studies about that.
Yeah.
Right? Just about how it stimulates our brain and helps us to stay awake. So that myth of, I can't sleep, I'm going to go watch some TV to help myself go to sleep, doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Is that helpful? Like basically scheduling time that you're going to be off and being very true to it. Do you think that would help?
I think the big key for me is going to be staying true to it. I think because it's, especially when it comes to my writing, I have not yet fostered, and maybe this is something that I'm going to have to do. I don't know if it's even possible, where I somehow try to train myself to where I can kind of shut off the creativity.
That's hard.
I know, because it's like it comes at such odd times, and that, I think that's probably one of my biggest problems, is that it's hard to control when that inspiration hits. And I'm worried that if I won't take care of it when it does hit, that it'll be gone. Well, it's not really helpful though if it's like at 3:00 in the morning.
Right. Can you write it in a notebook? I mean, do you have to put it on the computer when those flashes of inspiration come?
No, I can write as long as I can make it legible. I can write on a piece of paper. So yeah. That's probably the way. I actually used to do that before I got really into the screen time stuff. I think I have to go back to that.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of writers and authors say that being unplugged, being away from, their normal writing tools of computer or whatever, actually fosters creativity, right? The more they're away from it, the more great ideas they have. And so they use notebooks and even tape recorders, right? Whatever, to keep track of that information.
And I've done that kind of stuff before, and I think I kind of lost my way on that, and I need to get back into it, because before I wasn't doing as much, but I was using those techniques. But I think I need to get back to it, because now I can see where I could outright be dependent on it for my sanity and my health.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'd love to hear how it goes for you. Give it a try. Another thought I was having is, I don't know about you, but my Wi-Fi router, it has like time settings, so I can schedule when the Wi-Fi turns off. And to be able to just say, okay, 10:00 at night or whatever, Wi-Fi is turning off, and that will force me to get off of Netflix or whatever I'm doing. Because I mean, I'm the adult, I have the password, I could go on, and it's supposed to be for like children, right? To be able to kind of control what your kids are watching or when they're watching. And you can do that with your phone, right? You can set timers on your phone to your do not disturb times.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about how I could just outright force my Wi-Fi off without just unplugging it.
Well, you know, when I think, actually, as I say that now, maybe it's not actually on the Wi-Fi. I think it's actually a filter, like an internet filter service.
Okay.
That does that.
Yeah, I don't have anything like that, but
yeah,
you know, I am an adult. I could do more adult things like turn off things and go to bed. The kinds of things you tell your children.
It's hard. No, I'm with you. It's hard. It's like it's the golden hours when you just like you're accomplishing so much, but but it's setting, you know, again, it goes back to that willpower is totally gone. 9:30 at night, my willpower turns off.
Yeah.
No matter what else I've done for the day, it's gone. And so that is the point when I really need to have my environment set up, even if it's somebody else calling me, kicking me in the pants to get to bed, you know, that's what I need.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay to admit that, right? If we know that about ourselves, we can do something about it.
Yeah.
No judgment, just observation.
Observation. I'm observing a lot tonight.
So yes, good. Me too. I told you this was more about me anyway. Okay. Reducing caffeine intake. We kind of talked about this already, right? Getting rid of those artificial stimulants. Coffee is a big one for a lot of people. And you hear a lot of, reports that, coffee is good for you. It has all these antioxidants, right? All this stuff. But truly, when it comes down to it, that caffeine is a stimulant. And it affects the neurotransmitters in our brains. It is, it stimulates brain cells, affects hormones, that fight or flight hormone, it's affected by caffeine. And so if we're filled with whether it's coffee or sodas that contain caffeine, whatever the source, it is just not good for our energy levels. It really just sucks the energy rather than actually refreshing our energy. So reducing it as much as you can. Spend some time in the sun. This is one you and I have talked about, huh, Christy?
Yes.
You've been doing, right?
Yes, I am still so lax on this. I have got to do something about it.
Yeah. Well, we need to get walking buddies, right? We need to get, and again, this could be you and I. You don't live that far from me. We could totally do this. We could just go outside and sit in the sun together, and you go for a walk, you breathe the air. Oxygen and sunlight and water, there's something to be said about that three. They're so powerful for so many of our body systems. And just increasing the vitamin D, right? All of that just increases your energy. Just talk about natural way, right? Mm-hmm. What's more natural than the sunshine? Yep. Okay, so how do we do this? We're busy. How do we make all these things happen? What do you think?
Scream like a little girl? A little bit at a time.
Right.
Yay.
Right. Good answer. So balance, it doesn't mean that we do everything with perfection, right?
Right.
It means that we find the best combination for ourselves. Those baby steps. Choose your priorities. Make a plan. I'm big about plans. I'm really big about that. That just, going into something with I want to do this kind of a mentality is setting yourself up for failure. Mm-hmm. That being very committed to yourself, doing these things for yourself so that you can be of use to other people. Mm-hmm. There's nothing better than that, in my opinion. Yeah. So just being aware and being aware of your energy level and having, even if it's a checklist, right, of tools, of resources that you can use. to boost your energy. Some of the things we talked about, right? Essential oils, breathing, taking a walk, eating some nuts, right? Whatever it takes to balance those energy levels, then we'll be successful, even if it's just baby steps.
Yeah.
So is there a certain time of day that you feel like your energy is particularly lacking?
I would say, well, again, I put my level at a 4, so obviously for me it's
All day long.
all day
Yeah.
long, but it definitely gets worse even for me. I would say around a little after noon.
Yeah.
It's for whatever reason. I mean, it's like if everything works great and if I'm having a good day, I actually seem to function better in the morning. Once the heat of the day, especially during the summer, once the heat of the day
Right.
really sets in, I'm just like, okay, it's time to go sleep for a few hours.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and I'm so glad you said that. That's something I forgot to put in here. Take a nap. For real. Right? Naps are amazing.
Naps are great, but I don't think I'm supposed to go for as long as I do when I finally do go down.
Yeah. Probably 20 to 30 minutes is just enough time to kind of reset those energy cycles. So, yeah, setting a timer for a 20-minute nap is huge. It's huge. Yeah. And paying attention, right? If you find that you're slumping in the early afternoon or even late afternoon, pay attention to what you ate for lunch.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's about the time that energy should be kicking in, and if it's not, pay attention to what you had for lunch. Maybe you need to mix it up. Maybe you need a little more protein. Maybe that's when you need to take supplements, right? Is at lunchtime. A lot of people take their supplements in the morning. Maybe afternoon or maybe at lunchtime would be better for you so that you get your boost from those supplements in the middle of the afternoon, right before dinner time. Something else to think about.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're done. Yay! But you're just getting started. So I want you to think for a little bit here. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go from here? I'm going to encourage you to look back over the questions, right? And like I said, I'm recording this. So I'm going to post it up on YouTube, and you can go back and you can watch it, the whole thing again. You can skim through to the parts that, seemed particularly helpful for you. But truly consider some of these ideas that we've discussed, and especially some of those hard questions. All right? And know, for everyone, Christy and everybody, I'm a resource for you. You're always welcome to contact me, call me, what I can help you figure out. Supplements, dietary ideas. I do my health coaching. I love health coaching. It's such a wonderful, fun experience to be that cheerleader for people and to be, sometimes I'm kicking them in the pants, but I really love being part of people's lives and seeing and celebrating with them when they have these huge successes. So if that is something that's interesting to you or to anybody that's listening to this, give me a call. We can do my free health consultation, and we can talk about how health coaching might be able to help you accomplish your goals, whether it's for increased energy, weight loss, maybe you have career goals, right? Relationship kind of stuff, whatever is important to you, I can help you make it happen. And I have here at the end, do you have any questions? I should do that first. Do you have any questions?
Well, I will probably come to you later with questions.
Okay.
About ready to call it a night.
Good. I was trying to keep it a little over an hour. Sorry about that. But
no, you're good.
Yeah, I did.
But yeah, I think this has been really good, and this is already, since you like your, kick in the pants type of role, this was kind of what this was for me. So
Good.
I
Good. I try not to be a drill sergeant too much, but it's
no, you're a really nice drill sergeant.
good. Well, and I find it helpful too, just to have that sounding board, have someone to be able to just remind me of the things that really are important to me. And it's okay to be reminded, right? We're just moving forward.
I think, there is one question that just popped in my
All
head.
right.
Because I've told you a little bit about the kind of stuff I'm getting into,
Mm-hmm.
I can see myself already, without even really getting into it, that I'm about to get myself so overwhelmed that I just want to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you make sure that you're taking those baby steps, finding that balance, and not, I'm one of those people that if I'm not careful, I tend to overdo it, and then I'll
Yeah.
shut.
Yeah. Well, what I would suggest, right, if it were me,
Yeah.
is whether you're, if you're a visual person, do a vision board type of thing. If, just having a little sign, a reminder somewhere, on your computer, be kind to yourself, whatever, you'd want to put on it. But some kind of reminder of your priority, right? What's your priority? You. Because in the end, right, if you run yourself into the ground, even if it's for a dream, this big dream that you've had for so many years, you run yourself and your body into the ground, you're not going to accomplish it.
Yeah.
So just whatever that reminder needs to be kind to yourself. And that it doesn't all have to happen right now. Even if those little creativity gremlins are beating down your door.
Oh, I'm overrun with them.
Yes, see? You just you can tell them, I'm going to get to you,
Yeah.
Give them a number. If that helps, sometimes those visualizations
Yeah.
of just acknowledging that little creative superstar, right? They're pounding on your door. I called them gremlins before, and I decided that's probably not a very nice way to refer to them because you love them and they're so good for you. But acknowledge them. Yes, I see you. Yes, that's a fabulous idea. Here, you're number 2, right? Take the number 2. Okay, moving on to the next one. You're a number 5, right? Whatever. Give them acknowledgement, but let them know that you are a higher priority. Your well-being is higher priority. I don't know. That's just what comes to mind, but we can chat more detail too.
Yeah. No, but this is good, so thank you.
Okay.
But
well,
because I will bother you.
Okay. Well, thank you so very much for participating and being so willing to share your deepest, darkest secrets. Well, not deepest, darkest, but for sharing your secrets, your thoughts with us. I'm going to put this up here. Oh, no, I'm not. Never mind. Okay. I'll have to post those sources later with the video or something. Just some other websites and books and things that you can use to help with your energy level. So that is the end for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being so awesome.
Thank you so much for doing this. This kind of stuff really is so helpful. Thank you.
Good. I appreciate you participating, and keep in touch. I can't wait to hear how it goes for you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.